Hey everybody, welcome to week 13 of the waiver wire acquisitions. If you're new to the show, I give you three players at every position, both for streaming options and long-term options. So if you need some help this week based on injuries or whatever the case is, I have you covered. If you're looking for long-term plays just to fortify your roster for the playoff run, I have you covered as well. We're going to start from quarterback. We're going to finish on running back. If you want to go straight to a position, just check the timestamps below. It'll take you right there. As I always say, please everybody, for 2 seconds of your time, 2 clicks, a like and a subscribe. We need your help to grow. We want to keep basically growing this network and see where it goes. We need your support to do that, so we would greatly appreciate it. But let's start this week with quarterbacks, the week 13 plays. These are my top stream plays of this week. Now, the first one on my list here is Nick Foles. It comes with a big gulp because Nick Foles, I had him as a decent projection against the Tennessee Titans. Did not show up at all. However, I think the landing spot here for against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, I think helps quite a bit. I think Foles will have a nice game this week. He'll bounce back. I think he'll be able to hit Char, Conley, and another couple of guys there. Fournette out of the backfield. So I like him against the Bucs. He's only owned in 22.4% of the leagues. Jared Goff, he's been so bad this year that he's actually only owned in 61% of the leagues at this point. Playing Arizona, that's a nice landing spot for him as well. I think he'll be able to do well. And then Sam Darnold, he's had 3 straight games over 20 points, 2 straight games over 30 points. Playing the Cincinnati Bengals, whose main weakness defensively is exactly where he wants to throw the ball. Tight ends, slot receivers, kind of work in the middle of the field, and then hitting Le'Veon Bell out of the backfield. I think he's a slam dunk. I love him this week. 18% owned. You should definitely pick him up and consider him as a long-term play as well. Now, speaking of long-term plays, my 3 favorite long-term plays in order. Kirk Cousins only owned in 56% of the league. He should be getting Adam Thielen back soon. Playing the Seattle Seahawks, I think he'll do well this week and beyond. Jimmy Garoppolo, he continues as teams try to load the box to stop the San Francisco run game and make Garoppolo beat them. He's been beating them. Owned in 59.3% of the leagues. The wide receivers have been banged up. The offensive line has been banged up. San Francisco will continue to improve. My only issue with San Francisco is their back half of the back quarter of their schedule is completely loaded. So there's going to be some tough games there, but I definitely think he's worth owning in the long term. And then Derek Carr, I saw what happened. Yes, I saw the Jets game. I saw them get owned. Look, I think the Raiders just were ill-prepared to play against the Jets. I think the Jets came in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I think the Raiders, probably underestimated their play, and it happens in the NFL. I'm not going to overreact. I like Derek Carr, but I also like guys like Baker Mayfield. I've been talking him up for quite a bit. He's not listed here, but I think he's a great, play for the rest of the season as well. He's going to continue to get better as the season ends. Let's move it on now to defense and special teams. I don't do long-term plays. I only do stream plays for defense just because it's the nature of the position. This week, I like Carolina. They're a top 10 defense, everybody. I know they give up points, but it's not all about the points and the yardage. A lot of times it's about the sacks and the turnovers that you create. Carolina gets both of those. They're playing a rookie quarterback who is prone to inaccurate throws. I love Carolina this week, only owned in 39.3% of the leagues. The New York Jets against Cincinnati, I think it's another slam dunk. Greg Williams is going to rush the passer quite a bit. New York Jets, their pass defense has gotten better, and they've been stopping and stuffing the run all season long. Only owned in 25.6% of leagues. I think they're a great play, especially in daily fantasy. And then the Tennessee Titans against the Indianapolis Colts. I just think Tennessee's getting better and better. I also, by the way, like the Colts defense, who are also available against Tennessee. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. But I like Tennessee because Indianapolis just continues to be banged up at key positions. I think they'll be all right there. Next position on the list, we have at tight end, week 13 stream plays, Jacob Hollister. Now, I had him projected well. I don't know if anybody watched the game out there, but he had 2 easy touchdowns that Russell Wilson just missed the throw. How often does that happen? I'm not worried about it. I think he'll be fine there. Only owned in 14% of the leagues. Ryan Griffin against Cincinnati. Again, I was talking about Sam Darnold earlier. Sam Darnold wants to work that kind of, shorter routes, hit the tight ends, hit the backs, hit ends and seam routes and post routes to like Jamison Crowder and those kinds of guys. I like Ryan Griffin quite a bit this week to continue getting in the end zone with Sam Bradford. And then I have David Njoku. There's an asterisk there. As of today, he's still in the IR. There was talk about him being activated last week. I think he's a great play against Pittsburgh if he's activated. Don't forget about him, especially because Cleveland's schedule continues to get easier in the back quarter of the season. Baker Mayfield is going to basically get a lot of touchdown passes by the end of the year, and David Njoku could feast in the back, I guess, quarter of the year, as I've been saying. Now, long-term tight end plays: Jacob Hollister, as I've been saying, Ryan Griffin, as I've been saying, and then David Njoku. It's a familiar list. Those aren't typos. That's actually, I just think that those are the 3 best long-term plays as well. So whether you're looking for a stream play this week or you're looking for a long-term play, I actually like the same 3 guys in all 3 scenarios. Now let's move it on to wide receivers. Week 13 stream plays. Sterling Shepard against Green Bay, I think, will have a nice game. I have him at a 60.6% owned in terms of, basically the rosters out there throughout the fantasy football world. Deebo Samuel, even banged up, he got in the end zone. Baltimore, I don't love the matchup with him this week, but I do like him enough to be a stream play. And then Russell Gage, just pay attention to him. There are other guys out there kind of similarly projected. Chris Conley of Jacksonville, for example. But I think Atlanta's going to be behind in New Orleans. And I don't know if Austin Hooper is going to play. Russell Gage is getting a lot of targets, especially since they traded Sanu over to the Patriots. I think he's definitely worthy of a play, certainly a daily fantasy rotation. You can see only owned in 3.1% of the leagues. He's definitely somebody who is start worthy in your bottom flex. For long-term plays at wide receiver, once again, Deebo Samuel, I think he will get better and better as the season goes on. Once again, only owned in 41% of the leagues. Devontae Parker, basically the only viable offensive weapon for Miami. Look, he's going to get volume. Even if teams double cover him, he'll get targets because he's the only guy that they can throw to, only owned in 57% of the leagues. And then Will Fuller, who's only owned in 65% of the leagues. We saw him ascend once again. When he's in, his only problem is that he's injured all the time. When he's in the lineup, he and Deshaun Watson have great chemistry. Watson takes a ton of deep shots. Now, does he always catch them? No. But sometimes he'll catch all of them and he'll get like 3 touchdowns on 5 catches and 220 yards or something. Definitely a great guy to have on your roster. On your playoff, you're going to want him on your playoff roster, period. So if you're looking for your long-term play, I don't know that there's a better one out there, frankly. If you're looking for just the last spot, boomer bust, you're in the championship game, you're playing the number 1 team in the league, he's the guy that I think you're going to want to put in there to get that boomer bust type 3 touchdown game like I was just talking about. Running backs, week 13 stream plays. I'm actually going to give you 4 because the first one is an asterisk. Chase Edmonds against the Rams. I think that Kingsbury likes Edmonds more than he likes David Johnson. The only thing is Edmonds has that hamstring. He had the bye week to prepare for it. Right now he's listed as questionable. I don't know if he'll play, but I do like him to be on anybody's roster at this point. Darrell Williams, the Kansas City Chiefs just aren't getting what they want out of the running back position. Damian Williams went out again. He's injured. Darrell Williams, got some touchdowns the last time we saw him play. Only owned in 5% of the leagues. I think he's a nice stream play. Jonathan Williams, he's going to get volume. I just question whether or not Indianapolis will be able to punch a lot of these into the end zone this week against the Titans defense, but I do like him certainly going forward as long as Marlon Mack is out. And then Royce Freeman, who's only owned in 66% of the leagues at this point. I think he'll have a nice game against the LA Chargers this week. Long-term plays, I have Jonathan Williams, once again, of the Colts, only owned in 29% of the leagues. That number is going to jump this week, believe you me. Benny Snell, who looked very good for the Pittsburgh Steelers, only owned in 2.7% of the leagues. And then Chase Edmonds, only owned in 12.7% of leagues. I mentioned him. I think Kingsbury likes him more. So there you go. It's a little haphazard. We're trying to get these things out quickly. It's Thanksgiving week. It's a short week. It's a weird week. A lot of people are traveling, myself included. Everybody out there, have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the games. There are a ton of great games this week. Travel safe. And once again, enjoy Thanksgiving and thanks for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch you on another episode next week. Thanks.